Welcome back, everyone, to Bowlero Chicopee here in Chicopee, Mass. We are here for the semifinal elimination match on the first annual Northeast Megabucks Tournament, sponsored by Amy Viali, Chris Viali, run by Danny Kay, and sponsored by Savage Arms. You're hearing the music supplied by Rock 102. They've been providing the music all the way through in between squads here. We're watching the practice finish up here. And this is going to be the semifinal match for the under 35 division, and there are 4 divisions. This is going to be a rack. Trouble there. The rake came down just as Cody was going to shoot that 2-8, and an inauspicious start, I would say, for our semifinal match. Anyway, Bruce Hall here with you, doing the live stream through via TechVision. And joining me in the booth today, a gentleman who is no stranger to running his own tournaments. He runs a lot of really great events down in New Jersey, and he knows a lot about lane patterns and he's a competitive bowler himself. Mr. Greg Tack. How you doing, Greg?
I'm doing pretty good. Wish I was bowling out there, but this'll have to do for the day.
Well, don't we all, my friend? I just want to cry in your ear for a second. I missed by 3 on 2 consecutive squads, so I really want to be out there too in the over 55 division, but bowl better. That's kind of the answer to that, and get over it and move on. So anyway, it is the Gateway Arch pattern, Greg, and the scores are pretty good. I mean, did you expect this kind of a scoring pace with Gateway Arch?
Well, it's 6-1 on our ratio, so based on that, you wouldn't think that you'd see quote-unquote hash shot scores, but these are incredible players. I mean, you don't just get a player like A.J. Chapman, Arturo Quintero to show up and not score when there's friction available and hold inside. So
exactly right, and I definitely noticed when I lined up correctly, and for me it was lay it down on 16, cross 12 out to 8. If I did that correctly and I threw the ball halfway well, I had hold and swing. So, I mean, what more can you ask for? And again, that is the opening shot of A.J. Chapman bowling Cody Shoemaker. The winner of this match will face the leader of the under 35, and that's Anthony Scaccia. And Anthony shot 10-10 for his qualifying. That led all qualifiers in the under 35 division. There are 4 divisions. There's under 35, there's 36 to 54. There's over 55 in women, and there are under 215 average division. Now, all 4 of those divisions are having a match go on simultaneously right now in different parts of the center. We're covering for you on 29 and 30 the Shoemaker Chapman match. There is the Alex Cavanaro and Justin Warhol match up on 37 and 8. That's the 36 to 54 match. Justin Warhol basically went off the sheet from the 5th to secure his spot, and Alex Cavanaro dominated his quarterfinal from the beginning. And now, just watching Alex, he goes through the beak for what looks like a 4-6, or is that a 2-10?
That's a 4-6-7.
4-6-7. So what a mess for Alex right away. And Cody Shoemaker, his ball I don't think has returned after hitting the rack, and he's waiting to take his first shot. And our other 2 matches are way down at the other end of the center. We have Halvar Hagen-Nilsson sending us scores. Thank you so much to Halvar. And down on, I believe looks like 13 and 14 is going to be the over 55 in women's cut. And then down in the, way down on what looks like 7 and 8, looks like the under 215 cut. So we'll be bringing you the updates on those matches as we go through. And Greg, what did you see in terms of layouts, surfaces, things like that, in terms of how people were playing the lanes?
So I saw 2 main parts of the lane you could play. You could play straighter up the boards. You could play, especially on the right side, I felt like you could play with urethane or something weak, going 17-10, 16-9, or you could be swinging the lane.
You consider that outside?
I consider that outside. Well, really, anything outside of 7 was not coming back, in my opinion. I bowled on it. I'm relatively speed dominant, but I would say anything outside of 7, it was not looking the greatest.
If you threw it slow enough and have it slow down a little bit, you could. I mean, I think I got a couple of back from there, but the odds are they were not going to carry.
That was true. If you could get it, at the same time you had to get it to the friction, because there was a a lot of oil inside. So if you got it there, it could get back. Sometimes behind the headpin, but sometimes you had to get it outside of, I would say, 12 down lane to carry. I would throw balls that were inside 12 and they would stand up and I'd 2-pin or 2-8-10.
I saw a couple of guys do that so cliffed that they actually got it, pulled it, and got a bucket. So I didn't know you could do that on anything but a house shot. I didn't think any kind of a pattern like this would yield that, but sometimes they did cliff out enough, and some pairs would do that. I heard that from other players as well.
So these look like the brand new Pro Anvilene installs from
I don't think they're
Bowlero.
Pro, and it's the Glow Lane, which I think is the equivalent of the Pro Lane, which is not the Anvil. It's the thinner boards.
Oh, okay.
The Pro Lane is the thicker, like the 5/8 thickness board, and this I think is either 3/8 or a half MDF underneath the panel.
So the Pro Anvilene that most Bowlero centers used to have in them, most Brunswick centers would have. It's interesting when you get a mix of AMF and Brunswick centers with the Bowlero. A lot of them would have the down lane markers, and it's interesting now they don't have those anymore.
Well, these don't. I mean, again, this is the Glow Lane because they're looking for the excitement during moonlight and extreme bowling. So it's more it's more about that. The reason I know this is I'm looking at different lanes to outfit a house of my own. So I'm getting an education on all the different things. Every single lane panel now is made in Maine. So as it turns out, beautiful shot there by Chapman. Both bowlers after the slow start have both doubled, and no surprise because that's what they did last game. They both came out of the gate firing, both with the front four, and in fact Chapman going on to get the front five, and now they are all coming out of the gate. Now once again, the winner of this match will go on to face the leader of the under 35 division, Anthony Scaccia, and that will be down on, I believe, 25-6. And what we're going to do is, in the next round, Greg, we'll have all 4 matches on 2 pairs. So we'll be able to move the live stream down and cover all 4 matches.
That's fantastic. That'll be really good to see.
So instead of us verbally telling you what Justin Warhol's about to do way up on 37 and 8, we'll be able to show you. So that'll be exciting. So
Justin's he's working on, take that back. He just left the pocket split, but he was on front 3. He was looking to gap himself a little bit from Alex, and now he just left the 410 in the pocket, and he doesn't look too happy about that hit.
Well, he just had a Farkle on that lane last game, or last frame, and this time it looks like he adjusted, came up a little high, and 410 in the pocket. Thank you very much. So interesting qualifying. We had 3 days, Thanksgiving Day, then, and he runs the 4 over in front of the 10, wiggles the 10, and does not get it. That's Justin Warhol way up on 38, and that was a bad break to leave the 410 and a bad break not making it, so not a good frame luck-wise for Justin.
Usually when you have up the boards, you start talking about urethane being for control versus being for strike power, and Cody certainly is in that debate right now. Do you consider reactive? But you have a really good look with urethane, and you want to continue to strike it. But in my opinion, urethane was always for control. And then you start to talk about carry in a high-scoring environment. Do you continue with the urethane? Can you carry enough? And Cody's very, very good for urethane. The tricks he can pull with the urethane ball, and he just struck in the 4th. He's got a lot of tricks in the bag with the urethane ball,
well,
so he can make a carry.
He's right on the side of it. It's not too fast. It seems to be turning up very nicely. And they're doing so much more with urethane. I don't know what that particular ball is, but they're doing more with weight blocks. They're doing more with flaring, things like that. I'm seeing more and more urethane. I just had to drill up 2 more. I had a pitch black that was just your basic.
Yeah, that's the one Cody's throwing now.
Is it? Okay. And I just drilled up another one to go later and turn harder. It's not a big diff, but a little bit. And then I drilled up a Zen U. So me, a 65-year-old stroking left-hander, and there's a ring 10, smoking ring 10 for Chapman. And so me, a stroking left-hander, has now 3 different versions of urethane that I bring to tournaments. So talk about reality and how the game has evolved. It certainly has changed things. Meanwhile, Alex Cavanaro just left what looks like a 9-pin in the pocket. And let's check in with that match.
That's a 8-pin match over there now.
Oh, you have good eyes. I have to use the official TechVision binoculars. Yeah, so Justin came out of the gate with a triple and then had that open frame. So he's +6. And now, yep, so 98 in the 5th for Alex. So, yep, 8-pin match in favor of Justin right now. And let's see if Alex can get back on the strike train here. Again, this is the 36-54 match up on lanes 37 and 8 to our right.
Alex likes to use the weaker equipment. He's got a Hustle Solid in his hands right now, or a Hype Solid, sorry. And I always find him using weak equipment, even if the pattern's a little longer. He likes to be able to control it.
Now Chapman got that one out a little bit further to the dry and turned up even better for him. I think that 10-pin, he might have pulled it up the oil a little bit and didn't quite make the corner.
It's been a lot of the time where you haven't carried is if you get it inside and it gets forward and there's not enough reaction to carry that 10-pin.
That's my favorite pattern. I mean, make the pocket accessible. And if you don't throw it right, you're not matched up, you don't have the right equipment, layout, whatever, you don't carry. You know, it's like, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, and it makes you feel a little better leaving. You know, at least I had a chance, you know, I was around the pocket and things like that. So I'd rather do that than just a total grind out. Now, that said, you like to run basically flat tournaments and really total grind outs, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I was going to say, I was talking about this last night with a dear friend, and we said there's a lot of different opportunities to test skill, and this is one of them. And you know, can you shoot 250 plus? Can you shoot 240 plus under pressure? You've got to have it now. 4 games is definitely, you can make some mistakes, but you really can't have a horrible game, because then you get back behind the pace, and 240 pace is not easy, even on a house pattern. And it presents itself. It's unique challenges, and I got to tell you, it was a lot of fun to compete. You know, personally, I like to put out reverse block and watch people have to shoot spares to make money. But yeah, that's my personal series. And you know, for me, I always said, you know, if you want to see it differently, run your own tournament, right?
Absolutely, 100%. So everybody's got their philosophy. And by the way, my son loves your events. He would much rather bowl on flat or reverse than anything easy. He's always been that way, and God bless him, because the big money is not contested on walls. Just let's put it that way. I mean, you know, this is not a wall, but it is a bit easier. So, and, Cody,
this is not a wall. This is very easy.
Cody runs out that 3-6-9 spare. Meanwhile, he doubled to catch AJ. So we have now a 3-pin match right in front of us here, and AJ can get up and extend it to 13 if he can figure out this right lane.
Cody actually caught the urethane early, and it went high.
Yeah, caught it in the mid lane, and off it went. So I just saw Alex double down here, and I believe that's extended his lead to 18. And another 10-pin on the right lane for Chapman. And can't get that done. As we said, scores pretty high qualifiers. Eric Copping in the 36-54 division. He'll be on next, facing the winner of the Cavanaro Warhol match. He shot 10.47. Anthony Scaccia on the under 35 division will face the winner of the match we're watching here. He shot 10.10. Richard Strath came back after a not so good block and comes back and balls down and goes pretty straight at it, shoots 10.11, 211 over. And Daryl McDuffie down in the under 215 average ends up 998 to lead that division.
Wow.
So you can see the score is pretty high, even in the lower divisions. One thing interesting about the under 215 average, there is an average formula there. So each bowler has different handicaps. It is scratch within each division, and Alex Cavanaro just crumbled a bucket barely, and he got away with that one, and that's going to get him up in the 28-pin range now in terms of a lead. So Justin Warhol now in an absolute must-strike situation in the under, in this 36-54 division, sorry. And now interesting, the over 55, and Chapman gets that one out. Thought he would get it back like he did last time on that lane, but it goes forward for a 4-pin. And interesting, in the over 55, they're actually just starting now. They had some mishap happen in their pair. They had to start their practice over, and they're literally up now, I think, in the third frame. And that is Steve DiMartino against Ray Edwards.
Has Justin 2/8s in the 8th frame. He's starting to move into that over-under zone where you can start thinking about a ball change or moving right and staying a little firmer. I like this pattern for a lot of reasons. You can play up the boards, you can swing the lane, and someone like Steve DiMartino, he's extremely accurate, very good player, can play in the same field in the same event as an AJ Chapman or a Cody Shoemaker that have a little more hand and a little more rev rate. And that to me is always the goal as an organizer. You want a pattern that many different skill sets can come and play, and no matter how hard or easy you make them.
Yep, we had people come from, I think, on Thanksgiving Day, I think the closest person was more than 200 miles away on Thanksgiving Day. So there were no locals at all the first day. Everybody traveled.
Wow.
Of course, there were sweepers as well. There was a sweeper on Thursday night, sweeper on Friday night, one short, one long, and then there was a prize list for the total 10 game sweeper, which Chris Soule won the long, and he won, I believe, the combined sweeper. So Chris Soule doing quite well there. So once again, welcome everybody to Chicopee, Mass. If you could share this feed, it's out to the Northeast Megabucks page. We'd really appreciate that. And let's see what Cody does in the adjustment off of the high hit last time, and he gets it to double. And so being down 2, he's going to move to +8. And Chapman now, can he match? And that's another 2-8 by Justin. That's back to back.
Yeah, he left another 2-8 over there.
Converts them both, but unfortunately he's losing count and he's 2 marks down. So trouble for Justin. There's Chapman, another beautiful shot. Boy, what a form. That is just release to die for. And what is that blue thing?
That's the hammer 3D offset attack.
3D, okay, attack, okay. A little higher diff. Looks like it's flaring a little bit for him.
Yeah, that original 3D offset was, they revived the ball, and I was kind of hoping for a little bit of a slower cover. I love the 3D offset. I was hoping for a little bit of a slower cover. Then they came out with the attack, which is the Pearl version of it.
It looks pearlized, yeah, going longer.
It's an incredible ball, and a lot of people are throwing it, and making it look very, very good. So maybe they come out with a solid version of it, but they did a very nice job with that ball.
Wants to retake the lead. Beautiful shot by Chapman. After missing last time on that lane, recovers. All right, so let's look at the outs here. So 248 on the out for Chapman. 256 on the out for Cody. Cody has ball in hand right now. If he can throw 3 here, he will take his game to the final. And here's an update from Halvar Hagen-Nielsen. Under 215, frame 8. Thanks to the open frame of Chris and no strikes, Josh has made up to a 22-pin lead. So it's looking like Josh Stanek looking good. Will go and bowl Daryl McDuffie if he can hang on to that 22-pin lead in the under 15 division. And once again, the over 55 just about now in the 5th frame, whereas these guys are almost done. Cody does get the 1 in the 9th. Can he double here, get to the 250, and put it away right now on the left lane that he did miss on one time? Looks like he's going to take a re-rack. Do you think he doesn't like the rack, or do you think he's slowing down the pace?
I think he's going to slow down the pace. He's going to try to get himself in a gear, and a lot of he's a very good regional player, Cody, and he's going on tour, and a lot of those guys, they wait till the end, they take their re-racks. You see it on TV a lot. They take their time before a big shot. By the way, Alex had a missed Farkle over on 37 and 8, and he just made a spare. Justin can double to win that match.
That's right. And Alex can strike for 215, and Justin now has 191 in the 9th. With a strike, he can double. That's right. So we'll be watching very closely. I thought Alex had a bigger lead than that. How did Justin catch him?
So pretty much Alex had a higher pacing, and then Alex had a couple spares.
Yeah, Justin started with a triple. Alex started with an open. So Here we go. Here's the shot.
Cody needs this one that's inside.
Left. But it holds off and barely takes out the 7. And he gets it. And meanwhile, Alex strikes. Again, it'll be Justin Warhol needing a double. And Cody counting his blessings for that hold. He got that one in. No doubt about it.
And that's the other discussion you have, when you're thinking about it. He was definitely playing further left and shaping the lane earlier in qualifying, and then we actually crossed together, and we caught a couple of pairs that we didn't like the looks we had inside, and it was just too over-under. It was too herky-jerky. And we both decided, I got my double cross, and he got his pitch black out of the car. We had to go to the car to get him. We don't have enough bowling balls, right? And after that, he proceeded to shoot 931 block, and then he shot his 1,000 block that he shot.
That would be enough. Meanwhile, Justin does not get the first one in the 10th and will fall to Alex Cavanaro. So it will be Alex Cavanaro moving on to face Eric Copping in the 36 to 54 division. And here's Cody's shot, lays off on the back, goes into pack, and Cody Shoemaker dispensing of A.J. Chapman. A little bit of a surprise there, do you think, Greg? A little underdog action?
I would say so, but Cody can play. Cody is a very, very good player, and he's right potentially the East Region Player of the Year. He led the points. He can do a lot of different things, and A.J.'s a solid player, making the Shark Show, almost winning a title there, but Cody is no slouch at all. He's a good player.
Well, congratulations to Cody Shoemaker moving on. And now, guys, we will be moving our camera down to cover the 2 pairs that will have all of the finals. It's going to be a little bit because the over 55 game is still only in the 6th frame. But as soon as AJ wraps up here, we will sign off. We'll move the Mevo, and we'll be back with you for the 3rd of 4 rounds of coverage we have. The next will be the final matches of all of the 4 divisions to crown our 4 division champions. Then we will have our shootout in which our handicap system will apply. Yes, Haas. And we will crown our Northeast Megabucks champion. Once again, this is the 1st annual. Chris Viali has secured the center for the next 3 years, so you can be sure we will be back, and I think in greater numbers. And this is an excellent event, and something that I think a lot of bowlers really appreciate. So mark your calendars on Thanksgiving for the next 3 years at least, guys.
This is a very good event. They've done a very, very good job putting this together, very professionally organized. They have a promo video. They stuck to the schedule. They stuck to what they were going to do. They had good rulings. They made consistent decisions. And you have to approach this professionally, and I think they did a really good job doing that. And they are being extremely receptive to bowler suggestions, as every tournament that gets off the ground is one where you look for how can you make it bigger, how can you make it better. By the way, Steve DiMartino doing very well right now. I slacked out the shot. He had 7 in a row against Ray Edwards over there.
Oh,
yeah, he's throwing a phase 2 right now, and he's starting. He had a spare, and he's on 7 in a row right now.
So Steve looking strong. Okay, we will sign off. We'll be right back. Greg, thank you. Come back to us where the finals.
Sounds good.
All right,
thanks
guys.
So much.
We'll be right back in a minute. Bye bye. Thanks, man.
Thanks so much. Sorry I missed.